And so I'm back with another extra special presentation. Whatever Mark is going to give us is going to be amazing. This is my good friend Mark Phillips from the UK of Blue Frog. I've known Mark for a long time and is one of the go-to people I know of to go to with any question I have in direct response. So Mark has gratefully said he will join us today and share some of his knowledge with us. And so Mark, I will pass it over to you.
Thank you, John. It's lovely to see you. And today I'm going to take you through a very, very short presentation, because I know you only like short presentations, on the cancellation process. So one of the things we've done at Blue Frog recently is we've been looking at switching and stopping, why people stop giving to organizations and why they switch to others. And one of the things that we focused on is, how does the cancellation process work? And then we've asked donors, if you were a fundraiser, what would you do to tackle this problem of cancellations? It's principally regular giving, but it also works for ongoing cash as well. So there we go. I am now going to share some slides, and I will give you hopefully 10 minutes of fundraising joy. Are we good? Can you see those, sir?
I can. Brilliant.
Right, the cancellation process. So at the moment, when we're speaking to donors, what are they about why they're cancelling? One of the things they're finding is it's normally initiated by something. So one of the things that we're finding is that there's almost like three groups of people at the moment in terms of people's financial confidence. Those that are really squeezed and they're sort of like cutting back, those that are more worried than actually financially squeezed, and those that are doing okay. But because the financial situation is still very choppy, there's a level of worry there. And what people are doing is principally considering, where's the best place? Where is the best place to spend my, philanthropic dollar, as it were? So when we talk to people about, when you're considering cancelling or switching or stopping, what's driving it? And people say things like it's being initiated by a news story, something's in the news about money's being tight, or there's more need elsewhere. Or it could be an unexpected repair bill, or I've got to make a major purchase, or something happens, that loss of a job or a health issue. But something happens to unbalance people. And what that initiates is this thought that, is my financial stability at risk? Do I need to cut back? People start thinking at that point. And then that moves on. And they start considering, do I really need to continue spending this money? And it's all expenditure. But within that framework, people will start considering giving to specific charities. And then, and this is the important point, people start weighing up the cost benefit. Do I really believe that my money is making a difference here? Particularly if I'm considering whether I want to give to another cause later on. So I'm starting to look at the benefits of supporting that charity compared to the financial drawback. So in a way, that cost benefit, what is my opportunity cost? And then finally, once I've gone through that, I go through a review process. How easy is it for me to cancel or discontinue my support? If it's simply like, I'm no longer going to give, and I can start chucking those packs in the bin, or I can just start ignoring those emails, it's very easy. If it's a regular gift, then people are going to start considering, how do I stop that regular gift? Do I go online and stop a DD? Okay, so who are the people who are most likely to stop? Those who experienced, an unforeseen and sudden change in their financial situation. Now, even when that hit, some people were putting the decision off, because for many people, stopping giving, particularly to a charity they value, is actually quite painful. They will actually discuss it with their partners. But once the process had started, and they saw that charity wasn't necessarily delivering the value they wanted, they were going to be the first to go. And it was super easy for people to stop giving through online banking. That was a really painless route. They could go online, they could stop their regular gift, and that was it. Making a phone call was much tougher. So it was that combination. Is it easy? Am I not getting any value out of it? So we asked the donors, if you were a fundraiser and knowing what you know about how you like to give, what would you do to tackle that situation? And we got a lot of quotes that came back. And people started to talk about the fact that it was the uncertainty that was going to make them stop. And you've got a selection of quotes here. People are talking about Oxfam, that had absolutely destabilized their view about giving, not just to Oxfam, but to development charities. And a group of younger people were talking about that, and it's made them think twice about giving to overseas aid. Other people talking about the fact that if it's local, if it's in my district, if it's in my town, I get the sense that that money's making a difference. But it's international, I don't know. And again, if it's a smaller charity, then I'm probably gonna have a better relationship. If it's a larger charity, I'm just dealing with a machine. And when these donors started talking about giving, it was like, charities are pretty rubbish at showing me how my money has made a difference. That once they've got their money, they don't really care.
Mhm.
And people, even people were actually saying, I don't really expect a great thank you. I don't really, expect a great feedback. But when we ask what it might do if you receive that, people are very willing to say, yeah, maybe I'd consider giving more. Maybe that would go to the top of my giving list. Because we've got to remember, and this is one of my favorite ones, every day, and you'll know this from Dale's post bag, John, that every day there's going to be a group of appeals landing on people's doormats, and this is from just one donor. So we've got 5 packs there, and we need to remember, the line: she's not your donor, you're one of her charities. And that really reminds us that what people are doing is they're putting, almost like putting together a league table. Which are the organizations that I believe are doing the greatest work and are actually involving me in that are going to be at the top, and those others that don't really care about me and they don't really show me how my money's making a difference, they're going to the bottom.
And just so
So
for
what
people to understand what a league table is, Mark's talking about football, where you have teams that are first, second, third, and so on and so forth. And it's true. I mean, Dale, I think I've shared before in a video that Dale, out of 600 mail packs, got one automated thank you card. And executionally, it was pretty shit. Like, it was really bad. But they're like, Dale, you're amazing. Thanks for being a great donor. We appreciate you so much. But it was just a computerized font. And Dale wrote on her the mail pack to me that this charity now is in the top 4 of charities because it's the only one that's ever sent her a thank you note like this. And it was shit. It was computerized. So the bar, to your point, the bar is so low in terms of what we're trying to get charities to do. Just show impact, show your donors the impact of their gift. Tell them how much you appreciate them in the simplest, most emotional way you can. And you will see this. You won't this isn't a conversation you have to worry about that you're having, Mark, in terms of looking at how people cancel out their gifts because they'll feel connected to giving. Anyway, sorry for interrupting there, but
No, it's actually welcome. So all I'm going to do now is just give you a few little examples.
lovely.
Now,
Thank
this is my favorite DM pack that I've
you.
ever
Love
sent
this.
out.
Love this.
And it was actually sent to donors. It's a charity called Action Aid, and it was sent to donors from the DRC, the Democratic Republic of Congo, which was once known as Zaire. And it was a report on a project. And we packaged these packs up. We sent them out to DRC, and they came back like this. We had no idea it would have those stamps on it. Now, this was the most joyous piece that I've ever received, and I sent it to myself. And inside is a simple letter. And what had happened in this town in Goma was that volcano that you can see there had erupted and destroyed the town. And so the project was to rebuild houses. And you can see those grey marks on there. That's actually glue. So these photographs were actually stuck onto this letter. And on the other side, we showed a simple illustration of what these houses looked like. Now, when we sent this out as a thank you, showing how we were going to use the money, we got a 60% response rate. There was no response device in there. There's no, there's no, there was no website. This is a very old pack where, where people thought, oh, I can go along and give that. But it was absolutely amazing as our response pack. And so we started looking at how we could send out better thank yous. And we started developing thank you appeals. This is another one. It's a feedback from people who had given to a floating maternity hospital in Cambodia. And again, it was feedback. You've got that stamped and addressed outer, but we started dropping donation forms in here, showing people how their giving had made a difference. And again, a 26% response rate.
So this is a
We were
thank you pack?
huh?
Did you say this is a
This
thank you pack?
this is a thank you pack. It's a thank you pack. Yeah. So it's
Holy
got it's got an illustration of the project. It's got the children's drawing. It's got the photograph in there, but it's also got a donation form. 26% response rate. Okay.
Do you not worry about, can I ask a question? A lot of people
Of
say, like the whole, I think it's Lynn Webster, talked about like tasking, thanking and asking at the same time. And some people say you should, when you're saying thanks or saying a thank you, you should only be thanking. There shouldn't be any kind of asking, because then you're mixing the two. You're tasking, I think is the word she came up with. Is there, I mean, you got a response rate of 26%, which is freaking phenomenal.
Yeah, this is a very committed group that we've got here. So this is going to be this was a mid-value file that we're sending. So they've received the appeal.
Yeah.
3 months earlier, they received the appeal. They've got their initial thank you. This is almost like a feedback thank you.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so in that donation, on that letter, if you looked at that letter, we're
Yeah.
not pushing an ask, okay? But
Okay.
what we've got in there is we've got the donation form. Should you want to continue supporting this project, please use this.
Okay.
And
That's
it's
good enough. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So this is a slightly more delayed one. This is more of a traditional thank you that we're using now for more traditional donors. And this is from an organization called Sense, who's one of the best charities in the UK for donor comms. And this is a little thank you, a couple of thank you elements that we've put in here, which is a friendship bracelet. So you can see this element over here. Orla, which is the little girl you see on the right, who's basically saying thank you to you, thank you for being my friend. She's made you here a little thank you bracelet to thank you for your gift. And we've got a blank one at the bottom there, together with little stickers that you can create a thank you to send back. Okay, so it's, one of the things that we sometimes say is it's give and do. So this is the do element, where people are actually doing something, they're going to remember that. This is a valuable little gift from a child. She wants something back. It's a really enjoyable experience. And stuff like this dramatically uplifts your second gift rate. Okay, so we put this program in place for Sense. We started it in about 2017, 2018, I think we started this. And we started looking at answering needs. And one of the needs we wanted to answer was the need to show donors they were a valued member of a valued group. And what we saw, purely by constructing great appeals, but also by creating a great thank you, was a massive, massive jump in giving. So it's grown, it's grown, and it's grown, and it's grown. And this is a core file. It's not being dramatically increased in size. And this impact has gone across. So you can see at the bottom there the impact, for example, on Christmas appeals. So you've got Christmas 20 very high, and everyone knows that, COVID, everyone did well, then it fell back. We maintained our giving and we've increased on it since then. And mailing volumes have increased because we've got more people now giving gifts 2 or 3 times a year. And that's the important thing for us. One of my goals, and I've got a video that I'm publishing next week on this, is if you can increase your giving rate by just half a percentage point, so you go from 10% to 10.5% every appeal, and you do that by giving people a fantastic thank, you can double your income. You can double your income over a period of 5 years through doing nothing more than giving people a slightly better thanking. And then if you can increase average gift, if you can increase the size of your donor base, you dramatically increase the size of your
So
donor.
so to stop you. So that's the strategy. The strategy is actually a more thoughtful thinking
Yes,
process. Acknowledge who you're talking to, acknowledge
yes.
what they want to do for you and how they already probably do it, and then give them an elevated experience of what it means to get gratitude from a charity they care about.
Yeah, because donors say, I don't need a great thank you. And all they normally get at the moment is a rubbish email or an awful thank you letter. You put some effort in that, and you will, the first thing that happens is your second gift rate goes up, because those people, you've let's say you've got a donor base of 10,000, you're getting a 10% response rate, you'll get 1,000 people giving $25, you're getting $25,000. If you increase your ROI, if you increase your response rate by 0.5%, you'll increase the size of your mailing by about your response rate by from 10 to 10.5%. You're going to increase the number of people giving to it, which is about 50, isn't it? And that's going to increase the value of your gift from, it's going to go from about $25,000 and it'll go up to about $26,500, $27,000. But that's going to grow. If you add another 0.5% after that, it's going to, by the end of the year, if you're doing 3 appeals a year, your response rate to all of your appeals will be 11.5%. Okay? Because all of these people, because you are showing you value them, that response, the number of people giving to you twice a year is going to increase. So the number of people have gone from 2 to 3 times a year is going to increase. And if you look down here, you can see in 2018, when we started this program, the percentage of people, or the number of people we've got on this one here that I'm looking at here is people who've given in the previous year. And look how it jumps. And then look over here, the one on the far right. Again, look at the orange. Look at multiple givers in the same year. This is your manna from heaven. This is the easiest, cheapest thing that anyone could ever do. And what I say is you go out and you buy a pack of these Post-its, and you get your little Post-it and you get your thank you letter and you put that on the letter before it goes out, and you just write something on that, which is so simple, like personalize it if you can. So, dear Dale, it means so much that we can count on you when money is so short. Love, John Lepp. You put that on, and that alone is going to increase your response rate to your next appeal. If you start doing really clever stuff like the stuff we're showing, it will dramatically uplift, and you will move your likelihood of getting a gift, of getting a legacy, of getting an upgrade enormously. And we call this compounding, and it is the power of compounding. Small actions that build up over time. So it's not, what's the big new thing? What's the next ice bucket challenge or whatever. This is very, very small actions that dramatically change the perspective that people have of your organization. And that is the entry from the British fundraising jury.
I love it. I mean, because part of as you know, my shtick is about all the small things. The small things
Yes,
are easily discounted.
absolutely.
Who wants to talk about the importance of a stamp, a first class stamp on an angle? Like this kind of thing is just so obsessive. But to your point, is you do see it add up in time, just like you do with your money. If you invest your money somewhere, you can see
Yeah.
compound interest is an important thing. So I love this. There was something else I was going to ask you. What was it? So should people be looking at to your earlier slides about cancellation processes and stuff like that? Is this something charities should spend some time reviewing or looking at? Like how easy or hard do we want to make it for donors to cancel their gifts? Should I make it harder on
Um,
purpose so they don't do it?
um, One of the things that that we're seeing in the UK at the moment is everyone knows how to cancel a direct debit. You just go online.
Yeah.
And what some charities are doing is they're signing up people to give through a recurring credit card. People don't know how to cancel a recurring credit card gift. So your attrition is much lower on that in the UK. So if you use that, you're doing better. But, and the key question is, do they really value you?
Yeah.
No. And what you want is value. And the way that you tackle it, when people are thinking, oh, I'm going to cut back a little, or there's another organization that I want to give to, you don't want to be on the list of people who are going to cancel you, that you're going to be the one that gets cancelled. And by showing them that you value them, and let's go back to K Sprinkle Grace, show me you know me. That's what we're doing. There's no brain surgery or rocket science. It's simple stuff, but we just have to make the effort to do it. And going out, what have you got here? You've probably got a couple of hundred post-its there. And what will that cost you? $1 for one of those? And you just stick one of those on. Maybe you get a volunteer and you stick one on, and every single one, and see what happens the next time you send out an appeal. And I guarantee you will get an uplift in your response rate. You may well also get an uplift in average gift, but you have to do other little techniques for that. But that's for another video.
There you have it, folks. There's some amazing knowledge from my friend Mark. Mark, thank you so very much.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. That was it. Well done.
Thank
Thank
you.